Yo guys, Slow Coach Gabe in here. So I wanna make a top lane tier list. Lots of power did shift on top lane due to removal of tenacity runes, removal of little tempo. Because little tempo got removed, some champions are sort of unplayable, like Yon or Yasuo. Well, notably, a lots of power Jax did lose and some other like little tempo champs. Tryndamere got buffed, but it still feels like it lacks that little tempo. So champions that do actually use little tempo are very bad till they get buffed, but don't worry guys, soon these champs get buffed. Some crit items did also get added in less, well, not really in the favor of Gangplank for example, so a lots of power did shift on top lane because of the rune specific item changes and whatnot. So I will not spend too much time explaining you guys step by step the changes that Riot Games did to the game. I'm gonna just upfront start with the tier list. So 8 I already slotted it in with Akshan. Good if you want trick 8 because lots of matchups you're gonna suck ass. You're gonna suck ass against Darius, you're gonna suck ass against Seth, you're gonna suck ass against so many champs if you don't know how to play 8. So that's why I say it's good if you want trick it, because some matchups will be easy, but those matchups that actually take skill, you're just gonna suck ass, if you don't want trick it. Now, Akshan, I already slotted it in, is generally bad. You can watch Migung or Drutut, he plays it now and then on top lane, on mid lane. It's not that great because he sucks against tanks and against some other champs that do have a good way of accessing him, having a good target access like Camille. The main issue with Akshan is that Boar got nerfed to the point where I do suppose it does less damage on Akshan, while also notably the big issue is that it doesn't provide the same kiting power. Now that's one of his tools, but Kraken is also a bit weird because it doesn't provide crit, so that's just kind of random. But I guess he does have some other items like collectors. He has some decent items like IE, but he's generally bad into tanks. He falls off against some engagers that are melee. He does okayly against some champs that he can space, but it's just generally one of those coin flip like champs like Queen that are not really great. Ever since his Q got nerfed at 20% less move speed on this Q, ever since then he became very dog shit on top lane, so almost like he's not even a top laner. Let's move on to Camille. Camille, if you wanna learn Camille, I'm not even sure if she's good if you want trick her honestly, because it's kind of a situational pick. Good as a counter pick, good if you want trick it, or both, so it's kind of hard to decide. So you gotta try very hard. If you wanna learn Camille, you can watch Liu Bai for example, but the issue with Camille is you gotta try way too hard to outplay your opponent. That's my problem with Camille. Like, quite often you have to be so much mechanically there, and this was one of those videos that was of course like posted when Divine Thunder was a thing. But the issue is that with this champion, if you guys watch Liu Bai for example, is that it takes way too much skill to make it work, and you will suck so much ass till you can kick ass. So it's one of those champs I would highly recommend you guys to practice tool her combos off YouTube and then play her, ideally even a normal game. Take some practice, so not even sure if it's good if you want trick her honestly. If you want trick her, it should work. Not sure if it's good if you want trick her, but it should work. It should be fairly decent. Cho'Gath, average, too bad. Honestly, Cho'Gath did get some cooldown value. I know some of the items do provide less HP and he does scale with HP, but he may care a bit more about cooldown recently, so his W also got buffed, and there is some other like recent change Cho'Gath did receive, but Cho'Gath is kind of Cho'Gath, just an old bad design. I would say it's kind of average to bad. It's not even the best counter pick to specific things. And outside of laning phase, I mean, I guess like tenacity got nerfed, so his silence lasts longer, but like, I don't know. It's one of those very shitty design, I would say. It's not even average, it's kind of bad. Darius, average to bad, I would say. I mean, like, people think Darius is so good and he's overly banned, but quite often, like, Darius is so useless after laning phase if he doesn't get sintered, because any tanks just deal with him so easily in team fights or other utility champs. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Because the side laning is not something insane either. I mean, I know that there are good lane matchups, but it really comes down to the game doesn't only consist of like laning phase, so it's like average to bad. Not even sure what to give the champion. I mean, at least laning phase is good, too... I don't know. It's kinda average to bad, honestly. I mean, it's like his laning phase is good, but it's like... I don't know. His kit is not very useful outside of laning phase. Mundo, he did get another item in his addition, so he does actually... Borg got a little bit nerfed and Lord Dominic's a little bit nerfed against like HP stackers like Mundo. So some items that could be builded against Mundo are a bit worse. I mean, what should I even tell you guys? He's not really that insanely good, but I would say average to good. He's not that bad, I would say. Like, he does get value out of this patch. Especially because I know that some of the items that he could build provide cooldown and not HP, but that's generally seen as an okay thing as well. I think it's like average to good. I don't know how wild I see this champion being good as a problem. Because Mundo is just kind of Mundo, and the issue is that you may wanna pick Mundo if you don't have enough anti-tanks, but almost every single champion these days is an anti-tank. It's kinda like average to good, honestly. Not sure how broken does the new item make him. Maybe he's like better than I think with the new items. Let me just check some win rate something. By the way, if you wanna learn Mundo, you can watch Suitcase Man, of course, so... I'm not sure, I don't have like a good opinion about him. Like, I don't suppose he's that good even with the new item, cause like you surely build it, but you don't have armor. You have a lot of AD, but you don't have... Mundo is so weird, like you get so much AD from some sources like Titanic, Easy, Overlord, Bloodmail, whatever. But the problem with the champion is that you don't have AD scalings. I think your E maybe scales with AD, I'm not even sure. I think it scales with HP, but you don't have scalings. Which kinda sucks in a way, no? So, I would say it's just... I don't know, like even the new item, I don't suppose it makes him that strong. Because then you don't get Titanic if you build this, right? Or you can get them all, but then you don't build it instead in the moment. I feel like he's kind of average to bad, I'm not sure what to tell you guys. He used to be bad, but this patch makes me a bit concerned that with the new item he might be OP, but I don't know. Maybe he's a bit more average than bad. Good, he cannot be that good. I feel like it's average. Fiora, oh god, she used to be very, very OP at the time. The time she used to be very OP, but in these days it's not even that great if you want trick her. It's not even that good actually, it's quite average I would say. Because her items got nerfed or removed and the champion got quite heavily nerfed, so it's kind of average these days. Garen, average. Gangplank, bad. Gnar, average. There's not much to say to these champs. I mean, for Garen, there's the three-tone guy, and there's like the other Demacia guy you guys can watch, or Q-Max Garen, I think is like Master Diamond 1. For Garen, I mean, there's that guy that always has Demacia, and he has like... It's like black hair, but I forgot his name. Gnar, I don't know. I don't even know a single Gnar streamer. Gnar is kind of average to good, I would say. Maybe good. I'm not sure if I can give him good, but it's kind of average. Gragas. Well, it's good in general. OP. So this tier, by the way, is not above good. It's just only good if you want trick it. So Gragas is good as a con... Oh wait, what the fuck? Why did I place Fiora in the... Scambil is also kind of good as a counter pick if I think about it. But it's good if you want trick it, but good if you pick her as a counter pick. So I think that's where I would label like Camille, but whatever. Gwen, good question. Say she's average to good. Say she's decent. Heimer, he got a new tool in his edition. He's not really picked on top lane though at all, like he's not even picked on top lane. Allow is kind of good as a counter. Heimer is good as a counter, but I'm not sure how good he is in general. I mean, he should be fine. Like, he should be good at least, I feel like, with some of his new items. Because Conqueror 3 gives him right now cooldown, and he also gets like control usually for void grabs, and then he can siege with the grabs to basics. I would say is fine. Sure, I think it can be good. It can be good, honestly. Sure, I think we can keep that Irelia. If you're Irelia king, otherwise she's bad. So that's how weird. That's how weird she is. I would say like she can be good if you're Irelia king. If you're not Irelia king, then it's kind of average to bad. So if you're really really good, it can be good if you want trigger. I feel like it can be decent nonetheless, but otherwise it's just average. It's very skill tied. I think the same thing may apply to Camille as well. Jax kind of bad. Maybe counter pick. I would say. I would say it's kind of a counter pick actually because he's generally not that good, especially into tanks. Little tempo got shit on, so he kind of just gets shit on because there are no tenacity runes, which also sucks. And I don't know, the nerfs didn't get rebirthed, and he's good into picks like Twisted Fate top or like 80 picks that he could counter, you know. Like basically if they have like a basic attacker team comp or if they pick some top laner that he very heavily counters with his E, you know, like stuff like Tryndamere, but you need to scale a bit into them or Yone or whatnot. But I guess Yone is not even generic, so he's good at countering like, you know, basically champs that don't get to like deal with him with his E so easily. Jace, Jace is a bit weird because first I got recently adjusted. Little tempo got removed. He kinda sucked against some of the champs like Yone Yasuo, but Yasuo wasn't frequently picked. He sucked the teams a bit into Tryndamere, but Tryndamere doesn't have little tempo either right now. I think we can keep him good if we want to keep him, I feel like. I think he should be decent to good. Karma, we can pick Karma on top lane. Good or average. She got a bit nerfed now and then. She's maybe not that good anymore. I mean, she got a bit nerfed, but she's still fairly annoying. Gets those pryos for grabs. But she's not that insane of a scaler, no? I don't know. I think she's fairly decent average. I don't know. I feel like there are just maybe better roles than top lane for her. Kale, maybe as a counter pick, but generally I don't see her being that good. Maybe as a counter pick in matchups where you get to scale for free. Garen, Cannon, kind of average, kind of. Like he got recently buffed, but I don't know. It's kind of whatever this champion clad. Kinda see him being bad. The DI is not even picked on top lane. He's not that good in general. Maybe there's an argument to pick her as a counter, but she's not even picked on top lane. I don't have a good opinion on it. Lucian, one of those like average poking top laners, I guess. Average ADC, like similar to other ADCs that are being picked. With decent kiting and damage. Malphite, good as a counter pick. Maokai. It's bad. It's bad to good as a counter pick. It's a bit in between. Maybe as a counter pick I could see him, but generally he's very bad. Maybe as a counter pick, if it counters like let's say the matchup you face or the enemy comp in general, then I could see him, you know, even if you have to give up some CS, I could see him. Maybe good as a counter, but generally very bad. I would say Mord is fairly good because right now his aura is not cleansable by Rengar's W and Gangplank's W and whatnot, so there are many top lane matchups or ideally like grab fights that you can step up for. You have decent AoE, I think you also deal increased damage to monsters with your passive, so it really comes down to that you're fairly strong in the early game and you also get to control grabs, so you actually get something done with the fact that you have early game power. Then later on you get to like over the enemy jungler around Drake, so souls are way more likely to be secured or barons because your aura is not cleansable by QSS or effects like Rengar's W. So I think that's generally seen as a good thing. I would say it's fairly good. He's actually kind of useful right now. He's not that great as champion, I would say, but he's better than he was, and this is like an overall like It's like an overall spreadsheet. It's not for low elo or high elo. It's just like overall, you know. Nasus kind of bad, maybe as a counter pick, but I don't know. Like if you can counter pick someone with Nasus maybe, and you get to scale for free, outscale your opponent, then it can be decent, but it's kind of good as a counter pick or bad, I would say. It's kind of in between. Average, I don't know. It's kinda in between actually. Olaf, he got nerfed out of top lane quite hard. It's kind of average to bad. Maybe good as a counter, but it's also kind of average, I would say, these days. Um, Interesting as a counter pick though against some things like the Sante or maybe no. I think good as a counter pick. Like this good as a counter pick is also kind of a neutral thing, you know. Orn, you kinda need to one trick in Pantheon. I mean, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. Poppy, counter. Queen is just bad. Renekton. You can watch Eragon if you feel like. I know a streamer for him. It's kind of decent right now, Renekton. Uh, I think I can add him to the good tier list. Ringar, shit. Unless you get to cheese your opponent, but it relies too much on the cheese. Sort of bad, sort of average. Rumble, good. Rise is definitely good. The reason why I say Rumble is good because he's great, and Rise is just kind of underrated, but I would say after his buffs is quite decent. Raleigh Sejuani top lane can be interesting. It's average to good. With my 3 hours of sleep. Sejuani, gonna be like an engager tank, you know, and her early game can be fairly strong with Grasp, Ignite. Set average, I would say. Shan counter, kind of average. Shyvana shit, Singe dog shit. Sion kind of dog shit. I really don't see him being that good. Skarner, average, sort of average. Swain, bad to average. Bad, I would say it's bad. Silas, I mean, after his like nerfs, he's not that good. Maybe as a counter pick against certain things, he would be interesting. Like he could maybe counter Malphite or something. Like it could be interesting as a counter pick mainly. Tamkench, let's say is good. Timo got some value out of the fact that Tenacity got nerfed, and I don't know. Like Timo is quite decent actually. Like I'm not sure if I should add him to the average or good, but he's definitely not that bad. Even though he's similar kind of a coin flip champ like Akshan, but his blind lasts so fucking long. And ADCs are quite meta, right? So I was like thinking he also got like a new item, right? The new item Blackfire Torch. He's fairly decent, I would say. Like maybe he's considerably good, I would say. Not even sure. What's his win rate in general? Let's just check the win rate as well. League of Graphs Timo. So League of Graphs Timo. I think it's fairly decent, the champion, no? Yeah, it's fairly decent. EU 47. So depends which server you play him. So, see? Depends which server you play him in, because in some servers people pick more or less meta champs. But I guess in United also has like a low win rate in EU servers. But okay, but they have like 0 matches as well at the same time. So even in the 8 they don't have money. They don't have money to have a good sample size. I don't know honestly what to tell you guys. Like it shouldn't feel to be that awful, but it's just still Timo. Like I think average is fair to give Timo. He's not that bad, I would say, to give him bad. Trundle kind of bad, maybe a counter pick, but I don't know. Not feeling Trundle, honestly. Maybe average. Don't know. Kinda gave Ribbon an average and Fiora on average as well. Think maybe an average. Tryndamere, bad, Urgot. Um, sure, I mean, it's kind of average as well, cause like outside of laning phase is not that useful lane. She got some indirect nerfs, kind of average rain bully range top no. Diego got a healing buff of minions, but he's still very bad on top lane. Vladimir maybe as a counter pick, cause often you get to scale better than your opponent, but Ryze is just better as a mage. So. Huh? Oh, most of them are kept. But this is not mine though. Oh no. Okay, we have that. Zac, he's not bad actually. He's not bad actually. He's not bad actually. It's a real question. His roams are very good, and I could see some tech on Zac with the new boots, you know, with the new void boots. I would say it's average to good, but he's fairly decent in laning phase still, and then his roams are very good. His team fights are very good. You can go for good roams. Not sure what to tell you guys. I mean, it's kind of average to good, honestly, but his duos are very bad. That's the problem. They're not the best. They're not the best. But I don't know. I mean, on average, at least it deserves, I would say. Oh wait, Vladimir is too far up. Kind of like as a counter pick, he's good, cause then he gets to like shove babes and roam. Maybe as a counter pick, or if the lanes are vulnerable to ganks. Akali, kind of a counter pick, but I mean, is she good though? I mean, she's alright. She's alright. I would say him being good as a counter pick, but she's good as a counter, but in general, tank matchups are so uninteractive as an example. Volibear, good, you don't necessarily need to one-trick it. Warwick, it's super good in lower ranks. In higher ranks it progressively falls and falls off. So like in low elo you could say he's even OP, but I don't know, in high elo he does fall off very hard, but in low elo is kind of OP. Especially because with his W you can get so many roams off as well later on. It's good in low elo, very good in low elo. Higher ranks it falls off. A Kong, I mean, you asked me a really good question now. Kind of average, kind of good, but I don't know. I mean, it's good as a counter pick as well, that's the thing, but it's also kind of average. Not sure what to tell you guys on top lane. I mean, it's good as a counter usually, but I mean, I think he sucks usually in AP matchups against some tanks, some bruisers now and then, but I mean, he can smack many things, especially has a lot of outplay potential. I would say it's like average to good. It's hard to decide. It's like somewhere in between. But I think he can smack many things though on top lane. I can keep him in average, I guess. Or maybe I should make a tier in between, honestly. More average, I guess. Yeah, so dog shit, Yon is dog shit, Yorick. Very good as a counter pick, kind of average. Very good as a counter pick. Casanti after buffs. Good to average. I would say it's fairly good, especially in pro play. Why is Zix here though? What the fuck? Zix, average mage bully, I guess. Kind of bad. But maybe as a counter. I don't know why Zig's there. So we see there are no OP picks currently. There aren't really OP picks in the meta. That's the thing. Now if there is something to adjust, I'm gonna look around a little bit. Maybe volley is a bit OP, honestly, I'm not sure. Volley could be a bit... It doesn't... like, not really OP. I cannot drag it up to OP as well, because Sante is not that OP. I think at most is like tier list is very very fair. Like Hawkeye could like yeah depends. Some of them depend honestly, but this is like maybe Riven could be a bit lower as well, but I don't know. Like she's kind of bad, but if you're skilled enough, you can really make her work. Tashan is also kind of bad, but maybe we could drag Notion. Just don't feel him. Lucian is also, I don't know, let me just adjust some things before I have a final opinion. Lucian, I don't see him being extremely bad, but there are a lot of top laners that can deal with him, but he has lots of outplay potential. I think he can be fine as an average bully. Skylar is okay in average to good. Yeah, I think at most I think that's it, you know, like we're good. Do we place him in the counter pick? He can actually get a lot of pressure. Can get a lot of done if he counter picks, but I would just keep him in the counter pick section. Now he can be kept. Fiora sounds like a good as a counter pick against tanks, but I don't know, she's not that good these days. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep my opinion. This is my final opinion. So this is like the tier list as a whole. Thank you guys for watching, and soon I'm gonna make another tier list for another role. But that's it for now, y'all. Have a nice day.